Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the call today. If you'll take a minute to tie up the game against Memphis, please, and what you expect to see as you're back in action Saturday at USF.
Disappointed in the loss against Memphis. Didn't play well down the stretch. Accumulation of errors, allowed a really good football team to take advantage of them. No time to second think it. We've already looked at it, and no time to dwell on it, rather, excuse me. We're on to another really, really good football team, and South Florida is undefeated, so we've got to be prepared to play a great game on the road against a great opponent.
We'll take questions for Coach Major Applewhite. Please star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll now take our first question from Joey Knight with the Tampa Bay Times.
Major, you can see on television how Ed Oliver succeeds despite having everything thrown at him from opposing offenses to kind of shut him down. Obviously, from a skill standpoint, his talent is obvious. Just from a mental standpoint, how does he hold up when you got offensive game planning around him? How has he held up mentally?
I think he's held up fine. There's times in games where you're going to get doubled, you're going to get cut, you're going to get shot blocked. He had another vicious one last week against Memphis that was from behind. That's just part of it. And you understand that, with all the accolades and all the attention comes that kind of attention too. They're going to know where you're lined up, and they're going to know what they need to do in terms of their blocking scheme to try to neutralize you.
It says a lot for a young man if he can go through all that without getting frustrated. Does he ever get frustrated?
If he does, I don't really hear it or see it. His position coach does a good job with him on the sideline if that's the case, but I don't see it in the locker room at halftime or after the game or throughout the course of a game. It's just, okay, that's what they're doing. This is part of their repertoire of how they're going to attack me today, so I got to be ready for it.
Thanks.
You got it.
And we'll now take our next question from Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. To look at the rushing attack and Burden and Catalan, just what you can say about, coming off of this game against Memphis, as well as in general, what you've seen from the rushing attack and from those two gentlemen specifically at this point.
I've been pleased with the way they run the ball the last 3 weeks. We didn't move the ball consistently against Tulsa or score points, but in terms of what they were doing in the run game, what they were asked to do, they were effective. Certainly against SMU, somewhat against Tulsa, and effective in the run game against Memphis. Where we've got to get better at running back is protecting the quarterback. And in 2 weeks against Tulsa, we've had a sack on a tailback in a situation where we're moving down to score points to open up the third quarter, and it takes us out of a scoring opportunity. Then we're going down to score against Memphis, and we don't pick up in pass protection at running back, and our quarterback gets hit with a sack fumble. So playing with the football is a minimum expectation. We've got to get better at playing without the football.
And to go off of that, your quarterback position, just what you've seen, like you said, some of those things that have happened offensively, not on the quarterback, if he's not protected, just what you've taken away from under center at quarterback at this point.
Kyle did some really good things with his feet early in the game, and even late in the game. Ball security down the stretch is in a game like that against Memphis where it turns into a shootout, which can happen, has happened, did happen against UCLA. It did, it's happened in other games that they've played. You have to take care of the ball down the stretch, and that's the same story of the UCLA game. UCLA's in an opportunity to win the game, and they don't take care of the ball in the red zone. We're in an opportunity to win the game, driving towards the end, we fumble, and then we get the ball back, and then we throw an interception. So those are the things that we have to eliminate. A lot of good throws, a lot of good decisions, a lot of plays being made with the feet throughout the course of the game. But, when you're playing a really good opponent and it goes into 13th, 14th, 15th round, you have to be making great decisions all the way through those rounds. Those early rounds don't count. It's how you finish the fight, and we did not finish it with enough ball security and discipline.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Leo Haggerty with It's Sports Magazine.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, you haven't played USF on a regular basis. When you watch film, especially of their offense, what do you see?
I see physical offensive line, really good offensive line. I see, athletes that are competitive, physical players, whether it's Johnson or Tice at tailback. McCants is a thick, physical wide receiver. Scantling can make plays outside. So can Solomon. Physical, athletic, quarterback, good decision maker, can make you pay if you don't account for him. Physical runner himself. See a lot of athletes that are doing what they're, coached to do, and they're playing physical and competitive.
Coach, I asked this question of Mark Richt, and I think it applies to you as well. If the NCAA made a rule next year that said you could only recruit players within 100 miles of your campus, you'd be a pretty good football team every year, wouldn't you? Houston's a great recruiting area. Yeah,
that's what's been successful around here, is when you can get a large majority. You can't get them all, but you get a large majority, 70% of your kids on your roster from within 100 miles of Houston. Understanding you're going to get a couple from Dallas and the Central Texas area and up in Northeast Texas, and maybe one or two out of Louisiana. But if you get a vast majority of them, 60, 70%, you've got a great talent base and a small recruiting radius.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in Tampa this weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll take our next question from Derek Sharp with USF Radio.
Coach, I missed the very beginning, so apologize. This is a repeat, but after a tough loss like that, it was almost a good thing to have an opponent like USF to sort of snap the guy's focus back right away.
Yeah, I think that's, something that you come to expect now in this league. This league has gotten so much better since I first got in it 2 years ago, that there's no off week. There is no team that you walk in and say, hey, this is one we're going to get. It just doesn't happen like that. So no matter who you're playing, but certainly in this case, you're playing an undefeated football team that has a lot of experience returning, playing great defense, taking the ball away, taking care of the football, and scoring a lot of points. So they're doing everything right now. So yes, it grabs our attention quickly.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Applewhite, please? Star one on your telephone keypad if so. Coach, appreciate your time today, particularly in a short week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.